All right, here it is. I'm going to share with you one strategy that can absolutely give you massive momentum as you start your new year off. This has been one of my favorite strategies to be able to use. I've always taken this very, very serious, and it's Power Week and what we do with Power Week and how we use Power Week. This is what makes it so incredible. What is the Power Week and how do we use it? That's what I'm going to be talking about to you. First, let me tell you how I came up with this strategy. Several years ago, when I first started my very first business, I began to notice some patterns. I had a mentor tell me, hey, notice whenever your business goes through seasons, not just like seasons like, summer, winter, fall, spring, whatever, seasons like growth seasons, and there's patterns in your business. And you'll notice that certain things happen with certain clients. For example, if you're in a wedding business, spring's a really big time of the year, right? Black Friday historically is a lot of businesses take advantage of that. That was what she was referring to. There's always certain types of seasons. And over time, I realized there's another universal season in business that most business owners don't take advantage of. And it's what I have basically coined as Power Week. Now, what is Power Week and why is it so useful? Well, it's the very first week of the year, but the reason it's useful is because what most people do in business, whether they're thinking about starting a business or looking to do anything, what they typically do is they're like, okay, I've got goals. Maybe they wrote goals in December. Worst thing, you should already have goals written down for 2025. Don't go into 2025 and not have your goals planned. But let's just say they're like, I want to start this business or launch this business, or I want to make X amount of dollars in revenue this year. They have some sort of goal like that. In their mind, they plan, to really hit the ground running. But fortunately or unfortunately, the new year starts off with a holiday. It's New Year's Day. And that's the very first excuse that a lot of people use to sort of unintentionally start procrastinating. And it's like, you know what? We need to wait for people to get back. Let them get back in the office, let them get away from holiday festivities. So then they'll go to like January 2nd. And then they'll start looking like, well, we're going to be coming in to a weekend. A lot of people aren't even going to get into January 3rd, maybe the 4th will be coming into the weekend. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're in the second week of the month. And by that point, you've already lost a golden opportunity to be able to get started. And if the truth is told, what a lot of businesses do is they still sort of procrastinate. When I mean procrastinate, what I mean for a successful business that's procrastinating is one that's coasting. You're not really actively working to move the needle forward. You're just coasting on your current revenues, your current clients, your current customers, and you're just sort of status quo. What you want to do is you want to think about whatever your goal is for 2025. What do you need to accomplish in January to start to move that needle? Is it some sort of sales or marketing or, trainings or whatever it is you've got going on that you want to do for yourself, your business, your team, whatever it is? What's the plan for 2025 to move the needle? And the plan might be to improve the sales force in some way or grow the sales force in some way. It might be to revamp marketing or launch a different type of marketing. Well, you don't want to wait till February to do that. You want to do that in January. But most importantly, you want to take advantage of Power Week. The very first week of the new year is Power Week. What I started to find out was many of my competitors would make plans to do something extraordinary in January. But the truth is, they were talking about doing something extraordinary by week 2 or week 3, sometimes week 4. Sometimes it was even going into February before they got the ball rolling on the new marketing or whatever they were working on doing. And I began to realize that I always had a leg up on my competitors because I didn't hang out in holiday mode. January 1st or January 2nd, in my case, most time it was the 1st, by the way. But January 1st or January 2nd, I had a plan. I was hitting the ground running. And what I would do is I wouldn't even wait for the whole month of January. So we know that Power Week is the first week of the month. What you want to do is you want to look at what were all the things you're planning to do through the month to be able to help move the needle for your business goals and again, this could be a new business or launching a business or starting a business. And it doesn't matter if it's a one-person coaching business or if you're talking about a brick and mortar business. This still applies. The goal is for you to figure out how to make this apply to your specific situation. So here's what I would do. all of the activities that will, what I would always call is income producing activities or business building activities, the activities that actually move the needle forward. Everything that you plan to do in January, I would prioritize it to do it earlier, and I would do as much of it as I could, or at least get started on it right away in January 1st. Or January 2nd, or whatever, the very first day you can. I'll give you a real life practical example. So I would look at, in my case, our online advertising budget. And a lot of people wouldn't start launching their advertising till really week 2 to week 3 in some cases. And some of our competitors didn't even really launch an advertising campaign till they were well into the first quarter of the year. What we did and what we taught our entire sales organization is no. You launch advertising campaigns and get ready to work those advertising campaigns right away in week 1. And for January, I wasn't even trying to spread out the advertising through the month. I was trying to get a lion's share of that advertising for the entire month. I was focused heavily on week 1. Why? Because the goal is to go out of Power Week and start leaning into that momentum. You don't want to start building momentum. You want to be leaning into it by that point. It's much easier to build and grow and scale when you're leaning into momentum. It's always much more difficult to start the momentum. So start strong, start at the beginning of the week. That is your Power Week. Take action right away, starting, January 1st, January 2nd, whenever you can. Just make a decision to get started immediately. And I would plan. What I would do is, if you have a sales force or a business team that you're working with, I would plan a meeting the very first day you can in January. And I would plan a vision for what we're going to be doing for the month, what the goals are for the month, and how we're going to be basically using this month to build momentum into 2025. But as the business owner, I would be taking steps to make that happen immediately in week 1, right away. So plan the meeting, cast a vision for your team. And if you're your team, then journal about what you're planning to be doing. And then focus on prioritizing your income producing activities for your business, to grow your business, to scale your business right away. Week 1, the first 7 days of January, that's your Power Week. Seize that moment. And then if you want to expand upon growing your business, scaling your business later into the year, join us January 31st, February 1st, and 2nd. In Dallas, in Texas. Did I say Dallas? In Texas. Go to www.firststepstosuccess.com. Firststepstosuccess.com. And that way you can get registered for that event. You can get your airfare, your hotel booked. All the information is on that page, at the bottom of that page. If you don't know what First Steps to Success is, go check it out. www.firststeps, spelled out, 2TO, success.com. Firststepstosuccess.com. I look forward to seeing you there. Make that first week your absolute most powerful week of 2025. My name is Jackie O'Quinn. I'm a master trainer here with Destiny Global, and it was my privilege to be with you tonight.